this ragged street urchin of a kid walks onto the scene at a Go competition. He slaps down a single coin, challenging any of the seasoned Go masters to a match. The masters scoff, amused, and figure they'll teach this arrogant little whippersnapper a lesson. But in under 5 minutes, the first master is soundly defeated. The kid loses his coin, another master steps up. 3 minutes later, bam, defeated. Then a third, a fourth, a fifth. One by one, this group of masters falls to this kid, a crowd gathering around in disbelief. That single coin has multiplied into a stack of bills as word of his prodigious Go skills spreads. His talent catches the eye of a man in the corner, a man with a prosthetic arm known only as 2Do. After the matches, 2Do approaches the boy, offering him a bowl of noodles. He points out a flaw in the kid's previous game, then asks a surprising question. "Do you want to be my disciple?" The boy, whose name we learn is GWI-Su, has been wandering for some time. His ragged appearance is a disguise, his begging a means to an end. He's driven by revenge. Months earlier, a man named Huang had insulted GWI-Su's sister. She'd pleaded with Huang to teach her brother Go, only to be humiliated. GWI-Su witnessed the whole thing. To avenge his sister, he challenged Huang to a match. Despite his natural talent, he lost to Huang's superior technique. Humiliated, GWI-Su's sister took her own life that very night. Now, GWI-Su is on a quest for vengeance. Seeing an opportunity to hone his skills and finally defeat Huang, GWI-Su eagerly agrees to become 2Do's student. 2Do takes him to a remote temple, shaves his head, and begins his rigorous training. The first lesson, photographic memory. 2Do flashes a Go board position for 5 seconds, 12,345, finished, and GWI-Su has to recreate it. At first, he can only manage a few moves. The second lesson, lightning-fast reflexes. For every move GWI-Su makes on the board, he has to place a stone in the courtyard. A year passes. The once empty courtyard is now a mountain of stones, a testament to GWI-Su's relentless practice. His Go skills have sharpened. He can memorize any board position in mere seconds. He's even begun to beat his master. But 2Do isn't satisfied. The third and most brutal lesson, blindfolded Go. GWI-Su is locked in a dark room. He has to play against his master, who's outside, by listening to the clicks of the stones and visualizing the board in his mind. He fails miserably at first. Day after day, loss after loss, he's pushed to the brink of despair, almost ready to give up. But the burning desire to avenge his sister keeps him going. One day, 2Do arrives at the cabin, but there's no sound from inside. He assumes GWI-Su has quit. Suddenly, he hears the clicks of stones against the wooden floor inside. GWI-Su is playing, facing the door, playing blind. Sweat pours down his face, but he prevails. He wins. 2Do opens the door, finally understanding the depth of GWI-Su's resolve. The walls of the cabin are covered in Go positions, scratched into the wood with GWI-Su's own blood. But there's a twist. 2Do mentorship has been a deception. His prosthetic arm conceals a camera. He's been using GWI-Su's genius to cheat in high-stakes Go matches, with GWI-Su directing his moves remotely. They've been winning big, but as they say, there's no such thing as a free lunch. One day, a Go player named Busan catches onto their scheme. He doesn't expose them immediately. Instead, under the cover of darkness, he sends assassins to corner 2Do and GWI-Su in a back alley. Knowing he's doomed, 2Do tells GWI-Su to run. He takes a fatal blow, sacrificing himself to save his student. And now, GWI-Su is alone again, his quest for vengeance far from over. GWI-Su, small and nimble, squeezed through a narrow gap, narrowly escaping with his life. That night etched a harsh truth into his mind. Go skills alone weren't enough in this world. Survival demanded more. It demanded strength. He returned to the temple, but this time his training wasn't just about Go. It was about becoming a weapon. He hung upside down from the rafters, using his core strength to stack charcoal briquettes. With each pair of briquettes placed, he'd perform a sit-up, forging a connection between mind, body, and martial art. By the end of a single Go match played this way, the floor beneath him would be slick with sweat. This grueling regimen continued for a decade. The scrawny kid transformed into a muscle-bound man, fueled by his thirst for revenge. His first target, the assassin who'd killed 2Do, their eyes locked, The assassin lunged, 5 knives flashing. GWI Su moved like a blur. The assassin, no match for GWI Su's newfound prowess, quickly found himself disarmed. GWI Su pinned him against the wall, his face grinding into the brick. A brutal flurry of blows followed, leaving the assassin broken and defenseless. He scrambled away, and GWI Su let him go. He knew the assassin wouldn't return alone. They were a gang, and GWI Su intended to take them all down. The next day, as predicted, the gang arrived. GWI Su was ready. He borrowed a Go set from a nearby shop, retreated to the bathroom, and wrapped the stones in cloth, soaking them in water. Improvised knuckle dusters. Simple yet effective. The gang burst in. The fight was on. 2 of them wielded knives with deadly precision, aiming for vital points. But GWI Su anticipated every move, dodging and weaving, turning their own momentum against them. They went down hard. Then came a hulking brute who grabbed GWI Su, hoisting him overhead and slamming him to the ground. He even lifted GWI Su towards the ceiling for another devastating slam. But GWI Su, unfazed, delivered a bone-jarring uppercut that sent the brute reeling. Another blow and the giant was down. Only the assassin remained, staring at GWI Su with a mixture of fear and hatred. Knowing he was outmatched, he resorted to dirty tactics. He flicked the lights off, plunging the room into darkness, then flashed a blindingly bright flashlight in GWI Su's eyes, attacking in the brief moments of disorientation. He repeated the tactic, using the strobe effect to gain an advantage. But GWI Su kept his cool. He seized an opportunity, dragged the assassin into the bathroom, and unleashed a barrage of his weighted fist blows, culminating in a powerful punch that sent teeth flying. With the gang dealt with, GWI Su set his sights on his next target. Busan, the man who'd orchestrated To-Do murder. He would use his exceptional Go skills to destroy him. Their first match was quick. Busan lost, but refused to concede defeat. He raised the stakes, challenging GWI Su again. GWI Su, confident, offered him a 2-stone handicap. This only fueled Busan's rage. He wagered everything he owned. Less than 20 minutes later, he was utterly defeated. He lost not only his fortune but also his wife, who was part of the wager. That night, a desperate Busan sought out GWI Su again. This time, he wagered his life. They agreed to play on the railroad tracks 3 days later. If we're playing for your life, GWI Su taunted, how many stones do you need as a handicap? The question was a calculated insult. But faced with the choice between pride and survival, Busan swallowed his anger and made his decision. 3 chess pieces. The next day, GWI Su found his third target, a man known as Saman. It was Saman who'd taken To-Do hand in a Go match years ago, forcing him to wear a prosthetic. Saman never wagered money. His price was always the same, a hand. A blood-stained knife lay beside the Go board, a stark reminder of the stakes. Saman played with transparent stones, indistinguishable from each other. The game relied entirely on memory, a cruel test of mental fortitude. His true skill lay in psychological warfare. He could see into a person's deepest fears and exploit them. He saw GWI Su's greatest fear, the helplessness he felt watching his sister's humiliation. Saman twisted the knife, conjuring memories of GWI Su's mother abandoning him, his father's death, the isolation he felt, having only his sister to rely on. GWI Su faltered, his mind a battlefield of painful memories playing out on the Go board. But the decade of harsh training at the temple had forged an unbreakable will. He regained his focus, his resolve unwavering. The final stone clicked onto the board. GWI Su's black stones had triumphed. Saman's composure shattered. His mind, so adept at manipulating others, now crumbled under the weight of his own loss. GWI Su, seeing the outcome, didn't hesitate. He stood and walked away, leaving Saman to face his fate alone. Saman stared at the knife, the terrible price he had to pay. What goes around comes around. GWI Su had avenged his master's lost hand. That evening, he met Busan on the railroad tracks. Their game, a deadly gamble, began. The train's approach vibrated through the board, rattling the stones. Busan's legs trembled, his fear palpable. The pace of the game intensified. The final stone fell. GWI Su won. Busan stared at the board in disbelief. He was about to lose his life. GWI Su offered him a choice: die with honor or live in shame. As the train barreled down on them, GWI Su sidestepped. Busan recoiled in terror, nearly plunging over the edge. For a heart-stopping moment, GWI Su hesitated. Should he save him? Just as Busan lost his grip, GWI Su grabbed his hair, pulling him back from the brink. Saving Busan was part of GWI Su's plan. He needed him to reach his final target. Huang, the man who'd humiliated his sister. GWI Su confronted Huang, revealing his identity. Huang scoffed, recognizing the crybaby from his past. It turned out GWI Su had orchestrated Busan's kidnapping of Huang's daughter to force this confrontation, this final game. Even after 10 years, Huang still underestimated GWI Su. "You're trash," he sneered. "100 of you couldn't beat me." To shatter Huang's arrogance, GWI Su called his bluff. "I'll play 100 of you," he declared. "If I lose to even one, your daughter dies." The next day, GWI Su, dressed in a white suit, arrived at the Go Arena. 100 players awaited, Huang at the forefront. GWI Su would play them all 10 at a time, moving from board to board, making 10 moves on each before cycling back to the beginning. The sheer mental and physical exertion was immense. He felt the strain, but his will to win, fueled by years of pain and relentless training, pushed him forward. He advanced through the ranks, playing his game across a sea of boards, slowly but surely making his way towards his ultimate goal, his final confrontation with Huang. As the first player slammed his Go board shut, switched off his lamp, and descended from the playing platform, a ripple of tension spread through the arena. Then a second and a third. One by one, GWI Su's opponents succumbed to his relentless pressure. Finally, with the click of his last stone, even Huang's most prized student admitted defeat. GWI Su ascended the stage to face Huang. He had waited a decade for this moment. But Huang, arrogant as ever, showed no fear of the young man before him. As GWI Su played his opening move, Huang smirked. It was a weak move, a clear sign of the toll the previous matches had taken. He saw an opening, a vulnerability, and pounced. He was certain of victory. With each move, Huang pressured GWI Su, urging him to play faster, faster. A flicker of pain crossed GWI Su's face. He knew he couldn't afford to lose. He closed his eyes, entering a state of deep concentration. In his mind's eye, the stones on the board levitated, swirling together before coalescing into a star-filled sky. His consciousness returned to the mountain temple, to the years of grueling training. He opened his eyes. His playing style shifted. He went on the offensive. Huang, caught off guard, faltered. His hand hovered over the board, unsure where to place his stone. Under GWI Su's relentless assault, he finally succumbed, placing his stone in resignation. GWI Su reached into his jacket, pulled out a wallet, and extracted a single button. It was the button Huang had ripped from his sister's dress all those years ago. He placed it on the board as his final move. Checkmate. Huang, the master, had been utterly defeated. His prized Go skills trampled beneath GWI Su's relentless pursuit of vengeance. GWI Su, calm and collected, gave Huang the same choice he'd given Busan: forfeit his own life or sacrifice his daughter's. With that, he turned and walked away. Above Huang, a noose dangled from the ceiling, a grim reminder of the wager. As he stood, he saw it. The black stones on the board spelled out the word, death. Huang, defeated and broken, placed the noose around his neck. GWI Su's decade-long quest for revenge was complete. He had proven that true strength wasn't just about physical prowess or skill, but about unwavering resolve. He vanished from the Go world, a legend whispered in hushed tones. He became known as God's Hand. And that, my friends, is the story of GWI Su. A cautionary tale about pushing someone too far, about the devastating consequences of revenge. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell for more captivating stories like this one.